Hello again. Week 16 finished. That's why I've got my magnesium drink here. It's called Slow Mag. It's a effervescent fruity drink, but it's a nice little dose of magnesium to help my body replenish all the stuff I lost while sweating profusely this week. I actually alternate these tablets with salt baths throughout the week. So I'll probably have, 4 of these, and then a couple salt baths just to keep the magnesium and the sodium and all the other little minerals flowing steadily. This week was interesting. I learned a lot from a couple different sources. 2 weeks ago on Monday, my chest and push day, after a set of pressing, I kind of sat back on the bench and just kind of relaxed my shoulders. And my coach noticed, he kind of tilted his head, that my left shoulder and trap and the whole pec region was just tightened up into here, where this side was lax and this side was kind of tightened up. And then on the past 2 Fridays, not including today, we did some arm work, and my right bicep was in just, probably double the amount of pain and lactic burn than my left. And you could see that the fascial band around the muscle was actually holding my bicep back. So as the bicep was getting pumped and filled with blood, there's a fascial band of tissue that's literally holding it back, so it won't let it expand fully. So it was causing a blood flow restriction, it's preventing growth, and just it's kind of painful. So my coach suggested I see the physio at the gym where we work out, because she is very good at working with bodybuilders and kind of understanding all of the tight spots. A lot of bodybuilders have this hunched over, rolled forward shoulder look just because the front caps of the delts are just usually torched pretty hard with a lot of exercises. And then obviously most people are pretty bad at stretching, myself included. So on Monday this week, after we trained chest, we did a 1-hour session with the physio, where she did dry needling all the way up my left arm, my bicep, my shoulder, my traps, and then my lats as well. And then she worked down my right side in my bicep as well. So the fascial bands in the upper part of the body are actually cross-diagonal, which I didn't know. And it's interesting because if your left shoulder and chest is tight, that means that your right bicep and arm is also tight. So the fascial band we were seeing there was related to the tightness in my pec muscles and my shoulder in here. So if I were to have an issue in my right shoulder, my left arm would then be impacted. So what the dry needling does is it stimulates the muscle to contract fully, and because of just the principles of physics, once it's fully contracted, it has to fully let go. So what you're feeling while she's stimulating the muscles is like little twitches, sometimes some tingling, but if your physio is really good at it, it'll just be like a quick pulsing, almost like an electrical pulse. And at the end of it, I definitely felt like my shoulders had loosened up. They could roll back further. In the front double bicep pose, you are pulling your lats out while flexing your biceps, and that means that you have to kind of roll your shoulders back to make that work. And this left side couldn't do that roll very well. Now everything opens up very nicely, and I'm going to make sure that I stretch a little bit more in those regions just to make sure that they stay loose. But I'm going to add dry needling probably once a month to my regimen of things that I'm doing to keep my recovery progressing like it needs to. My weight is at 86.1.2, so it's ticking up slowly still, which is great. We want slow incremental growth. And that was really cool. So I felt much freer this week. My biceps didn't hurt nearly as much as they have like they did last week. and it was good. The other thing I learned this week from a podcast with Peter Attia and a guy named Luc van Loon is how to optimize muscle protein synthesis. And both of these guys are just experts on the scientific intricacies of how protein functions in your body. And the podcast is probably 2.5 hours long, and they speak much more eloquently than I can. So I highly recommend you check that out. It's episode 299 on Peter Attia's The Drive, and it's about optimizing muscle protein synthesis, which is right up my alley at this point because all I'm trying to do is grow muscle tissue. So they talk about the different types of protein, the different timing of protein, and how it impacts all the metaphysical things that are going on in your body. And I don't know, if you're into bodybuilding or trying to build muscle, highly recommend. It's definitely worth your 2.5 hour investment. Otherwise, this week was pretty good. It's status quo. All the workouts were intense. All of them felt like they stimulated what they needed to stimulate. My lower body was thrashed Wednesday, Thursday. So we did upper body, some push today as my accessory movements. And yeah, it was good. I haven't missed another meal, or I haven't missed any meals. So we're good there. On Monday next week, it'll be my last day with the coach before I fly to Southeast Asia. So we'll do some form of probably total body just to keep everything pushing hard. Then I'll take the week off, go play some softball, and let the muscles recover a little bit. So I'll be traveling next week. I've been instructed to eat as much food as possible because I came back last time, and even though I tried as hard as I could to eat as much as I could, it wasn't enough. So I've been instructed to just literally overeat this next week. So Asia is the place for rice and noodles, and we're gonna make that happen. So I will come back to you next week and let you know how the travel progress is going, and I'll see you then.